Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is Camera Elite, and today we're taking a look at why I haven't uploaded a video in upwards of a month. Over a month, actually. It's been a while, and that's the whole point of this. Obviously, we all know that Dogs of War has pretty much fallen off the map. There has been an update in upwards of, I think at this point it's like 9 months. It was like the beginning of fall when I was getting really worried about them ever updating the game again, and now it's just kind of dead in the water. The servers are still up, I think, but I don't think anyone's really playing it. And as for Mordheim, as far as I can tell, the devs are still active. They are still working on the game. I don't think they're gonna drop this, and I think we're safe for now. But as to why I haven't uploaded a video about Mordheim in such a long time, mainly that's because I'm not really being engaged by the game right now. Not to say that the game's bad, but the game still has a long way to being fleshed out to the point and to the level where Dogs of War Online was. Where Dogs of War Online cut out, they were doing very well. There were a few changes that need to be made, the glitches with the Guardians of Equilibrium and all that, and it was still a good, engaging game where you could mess around with different troop combinations and really, try to figure out what worked best for you. And yes, there were a few somewhat OP army variations. For the most part, people could just mess around and do whatever they wanted. I know I did. And for Mordheim right now, there's no real progression for one. You have your armies and you have your one map, essentially. One map, different variations, you know what I mean. And the online, not necessarily the online connectivity, but the community as a whole really isn't active. Like, I hopped on yesterday and there was one game available to play, and I wasn't really feeling it. I just wanted to get a feel for how many people are actually playing the game, and that's a little bit depressing right now. It's early access, and I know a lot of people don't buy into early access, so maybe if the game comes out into, I don't know, open beta or something like that, maybe more people will come in then. But other than that, back to progression and just army building in general. The armies in Mordheim, staying away from the fact that I don't feel a whole lot of difference playing each army. There are slight differences, but that mainly comes from the weapons that you are given as an army, and according to them, you can find and buy weapons. So once that comes into play, what really separates the different races and warbands that you can play as? And I was thinking about that, and I was looking at the actual Warhammer Fantasy tabletop, just as a little bit of a, inspiration, and looking at mainly the Skaven and the Chaos, just the forces of chaos. And looking at it, the Skaven are mostly known for swarming. They are rats first and foremost, and one of them is not exactly all that capable when it comes to trying to fight another, something that's human being sized. It's not what they do. They are really mainly range specialists and magic specialists and debuff specialists because they're plague rats. They are not particularly strong in frame. You have your stronger, more heavily mutated rats that are more along the lines of the rat ogre, who are just massive piles of meat that smash into things. But for the most part, they swarm, and they have a few units who specialize in spreading the plague and just essentially messing the enemy up from afar. And the Skaven in Mordheim right now are really just a different skin for the human mercenaries. Yeah, I know they have different units, unit types, and unit classes, but for the most part, at their baseline, they are very, very, very similar. Every army in the game has the same overall unit composition. You have your impressive unit, be it a rat ogre, a chaos demon, or just a really, really, really strong cleric of Sigmar. You have your one impressive unit. You have the leader of your warband. You have like 2 heroes, and you have 4 just basic footmen or foot rats, however you want to call them. And that's all you're really given. Yes, right now you can switch out your impressive unit for 2 other hero types, but even then, that's not how I think the game should really be conducted. Now, what I mean by this, I'm gonna have to go all the way back to Dogs of War Online and the fact that they used AP, army points. And let's say your impressive unit cost 150 points. Or your hero, your main guy, cost X number of points. Or maybe he didn't even cost any points at all, and he was just automatically factored in how many overall points you had for your army, because you need your hero to be there, otherwise you're just gonna get destroyed. And Mordheim doesn't have that. I think it would greatly benefit from that, in the simple fact that if the Skaven are supposed to swarm and have lots and lots and lots of units, you could do what Dogs of War Online did, comparing the Wolfen to like the undead, or even the humans. They have the undead specifically have lots and lots and lots of very cheap units that you can essentially just throw at the enemy and use them as fodder and cover for your more powerful units that are just interspersed amongst them, and give them the opportunity to strike a killing blow and really just keep them protected. In Mordheim, that's literally just not possible with how they have the game set up right now. And I think that if they took a few pointers from where Dogs of War Online left off, I think that would greatly benefit the game. Because let's say because I was playing Chaos not too long ago with my buddy, and what happened was I was trying to take out 2 of my archers, and because here's the thing, Chaos is mainly known for their melee capabilities, not counting like mages and whatever they're capable of. So obviously, you know, they can call in the terrors of the warp and just fry someone's brain or whatever. But typically, they are not known for their ranged prowess. It's not something that they're good at. And the abilities of the Chaos ranged unit, a guy with a bow, is somewhat pathetic and worrying in that his bow deal somewhere in the range of something like 7 to 11 damage. Don't quote me on that, because those numbers probably are not exact, but that's just an idea of how low their damage is. The bows do next to nothing. And even if you equip them with melee weapons, they are not melee units. Their skills do not focus on melee. It's not it's just not what they do. And you can't switch them out for a more melee oriented foot soldier. And I think that's very worrying, because if I have a unit who's not pulling his weight, who is not worth his slot in the army, I should be able to take him out and put in whoever the hell I want. Obviously within limits, limited to like foot soldiers, but still, you know, that needs to be something that the developers of Mordheim City of the Damned need to take into consideration. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. I have no idea what gameplay is going on in the background, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you hopefully sometime soon, whenever the devs get around to really updating the game and putting a little bit more of a Warhammer Fantasy tabletop feel on this. See you guys around. Peace.